Hey guys, Bowie here, and this is things I learned with Arteezy's Phantom Assassin in 707. Okay guys, but before we start the video, I want to talk about something that I was going to use in another video. I was going to make a Miracle Juggernaut video, and I noticed something about Battle Fury there that I also noticed here. So we're gonna talk about it. The way both Arthur and Miracle last hit changes when they get the item. Something quite common with PA is hitting a creep and only critting the creep when he's like 10% HP, wasting most of that damage. When you have Battle Fury, sometimes that can increase the number of hits you need to clear a creep wave. So let's watch how Arturito focus waves before Battle Fury. See how he keeps attacking the same creep until he dies? I mean, that's usually what you wanna do anyways. With Battle Fury though, he attacks one creep, then makes sure to dagger another one while thread switching, and in case he crits, he will make use of the cleave in a better way because he's dealing damage to different areas at the same time. PA is kind of an extraordinary case since the damage output is so big, so we'll show how Miracle's Juggernaut does it so you can visualize it a little bit better. Here, he starts by attacking the creep in the middle, goes to the left, and since the right one was too full in HP, he goes there. While if he kept attacking that same creep, he would most likely have to attack again, wasting time. Add that to billions of creep waves he will fight this game, and you can see the efficiency growing. The first thing we're going to talk about here is how Arthur deals with this unexpected offlane hero. Your role as a carry is to get CS while trying to harass the enemy without taking damage. Tiny offlane is quite a greedy choice from the Radiant side, so punishing him is necessary. So you can see that he goes around Tiny here not only to avoid cleave damage, but to attack the zero armor freak that Icefrog created. He knows he can go for that play because he left his range creep in front, so disrupting creep equilibrium will not put him in a position close to the enemy tower. Arteezy can't attack creeps because he will take too much damage, which ends up snowballing in this huge creep wave. The Canadian does his best to deal with it. Since the Radiant creeps deal way more damage than Dyers, there's always a timing window where he can go for some attacks on Tiny without losing CS. You can see that after the CS and the range creep denies are very important guys, he focuses a lot on the Tony. What we're going to witness now is the pinnacle of NA Dota, and I'm not even memeing right now. PA has terrible base damage, it's quite easy to miss normal last hits with her, but Arthur manages to grab every single last hit under the tower at level 1, and I'm gonna be honest here, 80% of what he did here is experience being a good player. Most of the rules of thumb for tower last hitting don't work when your creeps are involved and the incoming creeps are already damaged, but we're going to take a look on two techniques he performs to maximize his CS, but more importantly, his HP. If I was playing that game, I would probably skill Blur level 2 to deal with the creeps. Arteezy though doesn't, and the way he manages to take less damage is how he relies on his fellow creeps to take all the damage for him. Usually when people are last hitting under tower, they try to stay as close to the creep they will last hit as possible because it's harder, and that means that if an allied creep dies and you are the closest target to the pack of enemies, you will take more damage, and a lot of times you take it because you want the CS. Look at Arthur's clicks though, he's always clicking on his creeps and staying close to where he thinks the next last hit will be. So from the moment the creeps arrive to the moment his creeps die, he took 0 damage. He only starts taking damage now, and he also makes use of dagger to get some CS, but he doesn't rely on it too much. He actually saves it to the range creeps here, and take a look at how he preps the range creeps as the melee creeps take damage since they are full. And voila, highest CS in the game even under these conditions. And he doesn't even have to pop Salve right now since he took way less damage than normal. Pretty impressive, honestly. Another great showing of how to use the hero is obvious here. BH goes for a gank and he waits the avalanche before blinking in, ultimately guaranteeing the kill and allowing him to heal to full HP when he salves later. We're gonna see a lot of those waiting moments. This video starts getting interest at this point because I will be forced to admit that Treads was a good item this game, but to explain it, we need to look at the enemy heroes. There's a bunch of reasons as to why Arteezy doesn't want to join early fights. Usually as a PA, you do what we saw earlier, you wait certain skills and then you jump in, but Radiant's burst damage and control is insane this game, and this burst damage comes from skills. Skills come earlier in the game than items. Tiny can explode PA at level 8. Razor and Morph are unkillable pretty much, so instead of going for low percentage plays and having the chance to ruin his early game, Arthur goes for a greedy build with Battle Fury, and to compensate, he goes the HP talent instead of damage at level 10. With Treads, he is now on a more comfortable level to be able to go in and out of fights, while he compensates the lack of damage from the talent by going Battle Fury. Arthur played very passive this game, always making sure to keep the creep equilibrium on his tower, and that comes from his fear of being bursted. You can notice enemies approaching you with your passive, but if they're smoked, you won't know until it breaks. So when no one is showing up in the map, look at his position, and he also gets less hits with dagger, so PA is actually a pretty good hero to play this style when you're afraid. The only time he rotates before Battle Fury gets ready already is now, and that's right after the gank bottom that he was anticipating. This guarantees Arthur that there are not 4 heroes behind a Razor, and with the condition of static link not being used on him, he knows he can make something happen, so he TPs only after he sees that. I'm also a big fan of how he immediately changes his strats to strength after that dive. The burst is scary indeed, and he prepares for it. Since he was playing statically, it's quite smart to buy Demon Edge instead of finishing Perseverance, since he spends no mana to last hit. Unfortunately though, with this rotation, he fears for his life and has to buy Voidstone. He probably forgot to buy it in time here and panic buys it afterwards. You can see that with Strength Threads, he is now 1.4k HP and can be part of fights without instantly dying. This is the first fight that Arthur joins with Battle Fury, and we can see how, while greedy, the BF build is indeed quite strong. By joining after Static Link again, he managed to get 2 kills. But right afterwards, even with all we mentioned, he dies to Tony plus Morph, and that could bring the question, why not rush Desolator and BKB afterwards? Well, with BKB, if Tiny jumps PA from the fog, casting Toss on you, you can't BKB out of it, and if he ties Avalanche on top of it, he would probably be dead anyways. Also, Dire has 2 cores, while Radiant has 3. Static Link goes through BKB, and you also have Tiny that can toss PA back even during BKB, meaning that rushing it to deal with the burst damage can backfire heavily against a good team. Also, Arthur was playing very aggressively here. I'm pretty sure he didn't know about Blink Dagger, but he didn't have to last hit creeps close to the enemy ancients at nighttime. Anyways, in this clip we see the classic Blink into Stifling Dagger play that allows you to chase targets with the help of your friends, and afterwards Dire smoke since they got a kill so they can fight outnumbering the enemy team. I want you to pay attention to Arthur's movements here. I can see a lot of people just blinking in on Rubik after the dagger, but he's aware that Radiant has blink on Tiny and a lot of burst, so he just gets the kill and avoids overextending and using that huge cooldown, the displacement skill that usually can save you if you're thick enough. Right after that skirmish, they smoke again, and we see the same type of play happening. He makes sure to kite someone with dagger, and only decides to go in when he knows that Razor is almost dead, and Tiny is silent, so there's no toss back play. Because of his passive and 3 enemy heroes being dead, Arthur goes for even more kills. With the Desolator and the level 15 talent, PA is still the queen of pickoffs. And at least D.Bowie dies here. Arthur keeps pressuring Radiant now with the knowledge that Echo is down. He can explode Shaker here. And look how freaking fast those Canadians are. As the kill happens, he thread switches to Strength because he knows there are a lot of heroes there, but he doesn't even need it thanks to his beautiful allies. Static Link gets wasted, and that's an even bigger reason to go in again. And look at that, I can see a lot of players panic blinking on Rubik because they want the kill, but by saving Blink for Tiny later, they secure the kill on Tony without having to dive him too much. Even the Water Boy doesn't feel confident fighting Dire now, and this is a huge accomplishment. A lot of low MMR players that go for these greedy builds, they finish those items and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna jump the first hero I see, and then they feed, and then they start getting passive and they focus way too much in their BKBs, completely wasting their power spike. By going to fights at the right time, jumping the right heroes at the right time, and abusing cooldowns as we saw with Echo Slam after they were wasted, Arteezy kept fighting, even though someone would be thinking like, oh no, I need a BKB now, we're already ahead. And he was able to do that against a draft that's quite nice against PA, honestly, without BKB. The first BKB usage, by the way, shows how good and powerful the item can be. The impact is obvious and shows how rushing it will solve every single problem. I mean, jokes aside, this is the reason why BKB is not a magical problem solver. And if you just try to BKB and join a fight against 5 enemies, it can and it will probably be underwhelming. At least if you compare it by joining a fight at a better time without the item. we can see the HP talent and BKB paying big dividends in a fight that happens right after that one. Even though I was joking about it, we can see how BKB is the only reason Miracle survives here. Abyssal, Basher, any other item would be useless besides maybe Satanic, but the cost is not really comparable. Since he gets level 20 as the fight happens, not only he can burst Shaker down, he can go Roshan thanks to that beautiful lifesteal talent. All in all, I feel like this build is definitely viable, probably more to carry PA than mid PA, since you rarely get the lane for yourself for such a long period of time to farm the item. You can always go Desolator followed by Battle Fury, but only if you get a ton of heals during the game, because now without PMS you just take a lot of damage until you have max blur, and even then you're wasting a lot of kill potential. You can go for the Mask of Madness build, but I feel like that delays your BKB even more. I don't know, we'll have to see. There's not a lot of professional teams picking PA, but I feel like the hero is gonna be big pretty soon. Battle Fury gives you the HP and mana sustain to farm other items, but remember that it also delays your BKB, so going for the HP talent is a way to be safer in games with bursty heroes like this one. As of always guys, this video is sponsored by Pvgna, those guys are huge. If you want to watch my exclusive series called Winners of Patch 707, make sure to subscribe and watch it. Pvgna also released Oracle. This website allows you to track your performance and compare yourself to high MMR players and understand what it is that you're not doing right. I'm also coaching via gamersensei now. There's gonna be a lot of coaching sessions on Sunday, so if you're interested on how they are, you can check it out, maybe see if that's for you or not. If you allow me to stream those coaching sessions, after the third one you get one for free, so that's a lot of value. And yeah guys, hope you had a fantastic Friday, and if you like the channel, make sure to follow me on social media, Twitter and Twitch. The links are all in the description. Bye!